new right now. Huawei now launching its own operating system, known in English as the Harmony OS. Now, the head of the company's consumer division said it would prefer to use Google's Android software on its devices, but if it were banned, Huawei could, it says, migrate to its own operating system within 1 or 2 days. So trying a little bit of a hedge here for them in case they're no longer able to use Android. Separately, we should say that there was a Bloomberg report out late yesterday saying that the White House is holding off on a decision about licenses for U.S. companies to restart business with Huawei. That's a direct response to China's halt of U.S. agricultural purchases. And now, according to that report, we're going to have to see what's going to happen next. Joining us now to talk about Huawei and its role as a policy lever in this larger trade war is Robert Spalding, Senior Fellow at the Hudson Institute. Robert also, we should say, has a book out this week, this fall, we should say, titled Stealth War, How China Took Over While America's Elite Slept. And it's good to see you, Robert. In terms of the sort of latest steps, though, in this Huawei battle, how much do you think we still have to, how much of this is really still about Huawei and how much of it is about trade and tariffs? And is there a way that this gets separated at all?
I don't think it does. It's about national security. I think it will continue to be about national security. It is interesting to see how China is retaliating with the decline to purchase agricultural products. I don't want to say that that has anything to do with the delay in getting any licenses for Android, but, it's hard to say.
So let me ask you in a different way. If you were President Trump and you could sort of, to the extent you want to get these negotiations to work, how would you handle Huawei? Is there a way to thread the needle so that you can take care or at least restart these negotiations in a meaningful way with China where they are happy or at least happy enough, and yet you're able to protect the national security component that has been discussed so much?
I really thought about this a lot, and I know that the president really wants to have an agreement with the Chinese. I just don't think that they're prepared to have an agreement. After 2008, they really relied on their state-owned enterprises to pull them through that crisis. And since then, they've begun consolidating those state-owned enterprises and increasing the amount of power they have in the economy. They're just not willing to unwind that. And so the reform and opening up that they've talked about that they're going to do in the last several 5-year plans, they've actually reversed. And they're just not in a place right now where they want to go back on that. And so even if the president, and I know he wants to have a deal, even if he wanted to have a deal, as bad as he wanted, they just aren't prepared to restructure their economy or have the type of enforcement measures that would be required to actually really have a deal that really meant anything.
So you think there is nothing that the president can offer them, either as an olive branch, a fig leaf, you name your tree.
Fig leaf?
Well, you don't want it to be a fig leaf.
No.
You don't want it to be a fig
things.
leaf. Something. There's nothing. There's nothing that's available in the toolkit to make this work.
Oh, certainly. What the president could do says he could say that we're going to just continue to do business as usual, which means that they're going to continue to have a closed economy. It's still going to be difficult for American companies to operate over there, but their companies are going to be able to freely operate over here, and they're going to get all the technology and innovation and capital that they need to grow their company. So I think, yes, he could do something. He could basically cave into their demands and essentially let them do whatever they want.
Robert, why don't you think the Huawei issue is part of this trade war? I mean, if you follow the ban, if you follow, in June that President Trump said he would revisit this and look to ease up restrictions in June, that timed perfectly with sort of a détente in this trade war. And then all of a sudden Beijing says we're not going to buy agricultural products from the U.S. and the U.S. comes back and says reportedly that they're going to reevaluate easing the restrictions. I mean, tit for tat, it looks like it is being used as a chip.
Well, it's just about the importance of data in national security in the 21st century. The platform for the apps, services, and business models for the 4G world is really mobile computing. The Android and the Apple ecosystem via their smartphones provide that platform. In 5G, the network is actually going to be the platform for deployment. And so where you could opt out of the 4G world, you're not going to be able to opt out of the 5G world. There's going to be cameras, there's going to be microphones placed around a city, monitoring what you do, identifying your habit patterns, ostensibly to provide you better services and to make your life more convenient. But all of that data can be used also to determine what's important to you and to ultimately influence you. That's the real challenge with 5G. It's a real challenge with data, and it's a real challenge with telecommunications and just how connected our world's become in allowing foreign companies that actually are at the behest of totalitarian regimes to really, do things that are inimical to our own values.
So I guess the question that I should have asked, Robert, is can it be both a national security threat and being used as a chip in the trade war? And is that right?
Well, so to determine whether that's right, I think you would have to go to the fact that they're not trading agricultural products. So I think it's, the answer is probably somewhere yes, but I really couldn't tell you that. What I see today is that Huawei is a national security risk. That doesn't mean that the administration isn't trying to get a better deal for the American people by using it as a chip. I don't think they are, but that could be.